Welcome to Papa Smokes Coffee and a Spliff. I'm your host, Papa Smoke, also known as Max Carter. This episode is called Crazy Ideas. I got friends who at times get emails that start out with crazy number something 100,000 da 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 da. And it usually is exactly as it's billed. It's a crazy idea. Some of them are fun, crazy ideas though. One of my favorites, something I'd like to do someday, is a cartoon based off of the character that I was when I was writing the website, The Movie Whore. The idea for the cartoon is the character, the movie whore, fictional character, fictional character, cartoon character, is a movie producer who is obsessed with making the most realistic films possible. So much so that when he makes a disaster film, the world does nearly get destroyed. A friend of mine who I'd love to work on this project with at some point, when I tossed her an idea about zombies showing up and the movie horror getting really excited and running downstairs and pulling out his this case that says "In case of zombies, open." And when he opens it up, there's a chainsaw that he can mount on his hand and a double barrel shotgun and a special little box that says Bruce Campbell chin. This is only funny if you know Evil Dead 2, and Army of Darkness. If you don't, go watch those three movies, then watch this clip again. It'll be a lot funnier. This friend of mine, what she suggested was that it be the Army of Darkness, that they are peace-loving hippies that gather around trees and only eat rich people. I personally thought this was one of the funny. I want to make this cartoon just to make this episode, plus several many others. Uh, I also added a cast of characters for the movie horror's hometown and where he does his stuff out of. Uh, One of the characters that I expect to get some feedback on that is probably going to be you crazy man. Why? Whole litany of stuff, and some people will really dig what I'm doing with this character. I call him KMF, and he owns a pool hall. And this cartoon is not for children. It is for adults and probably better for cable, based on this character alone and what his name is and why I'm using this name with this character. KMF stands for King Motherfucker. In his pool hall, anytime he hears somebody call, he's got a bunch of young kids in there, calls somebody a motherfucker, he steps up and goes, "Why are you calling him a motherfucker? That boy ain't no motherfucker. Because don't you understand that to be a motherfucker, that means she's a mother. That means there's kids involved, which means you better step up and be a man and be a father to those kids, whether they're yours or not. That's why they call me King, motherfucker." That's just like the basic intro of what that character is, and it's basically taking what other people call douchebag language and speaking to the douchebags who use it, but changing the metaphor around it instead of making it an insult, making it something to aspire to. A man who takes care of the children that are with the woman he's with, whether he had a hand in creating them or not. I've been a stepfather. I took it very seriously. Part of the problem that most single parents have, and it is a majority women, there are single fathers out there. I am one. I've had times where it was me and my son. Right now, he's with his mom. And I know other single dads out there who go through the same types of problems that single mothers do. It's a single parent issue. And the biggest problem that any single parent has in dating relationships is somebody who is willing to step up and go, yes, this is what this is. I acknowledge that, and yes, I will be a parental figure. I know I'm not that human being, but as long as I'm in this relationship with you, I share that responsibility with you in making sure these kids don't turn into little demons and douchebags that go out into the world and I'm ashamed of them. And so are you. That's what it is to be a man or a woman. A woman who dates a man who has kids should absolutely expect to be a stepmother and act accordingly. It's part of the problem that single parents have is finding somebody who's willing to do that that doesn't already have kids themselves. And then you have the film from, I think it's like the 60s or 70s called, or maybe in the 50s, I'm not sure, but it's called Yours, Mine, and Ours, about a couple that he had kids, she had kids, and then they had kids. Back before the blended family became what it is today, which is more the norm, then back then it was like, oh my God, you were divorced? Oh no. Now it's like, what do you mean you haven't been married at least once? Hasn't everybody been married at least once? I've been married 3 times. I'm that kind of fool for monogamy. It's my favorite thing in life. But the blended family is something that needs to have more care and attention given to it because it's more of what is prevalent, at least in the United States. And the people who are getting involved, whether you have kids or not, when you get involved with somebody who has kids, you love those kids like they were yours. You don't treat one child differently than the other if you're blending together. If you're blending together and you have a kid, the kid you have together you don't treat differently than the one that was there first, already there. You know, a lot of the issues that we have as adults start off with our parents. You know, and I really look at that when I'm talking to my son, who really has kind of inspired this today. I talked to him on the phone today. He's doing wonderful. He's a great kid. He's awesome. He really is. Very intelligent. He's in choir right now. I love my son. He's the dude. That's my nickname for him. But what he inspired was he was talking about, he was listening to a song that said, it was blaming parents for everything. And with my own father, how I kind of resolved my issues with him a few years ago, when he asked, well, how was I supposed to know? There was no teacher. And I looked at him and went, Dad, I was your teacher. You were supposed to learn to be a father by taking care of my needs and seeing what it was I needed. And listen to me when I tell you I need this, which is the way I am with my son. I don't give in to every little desire he has, but I pay attention to the need versus the want and find balance between the two, while at the same time, being who I am and doing what I do, the dude is an idea for him that helps him be an individual, but with good parameters. Because when he acts up, instead of getting punished, we have a conversation where I remind him that to be the dude means you say please and thank you. You walk into a room or up to where people are talking, wait until they notice you, or if you need to interject, interject. Be a friend to people. All the general things that we agree pretty much help us get along no matter where we are. And instead of tying it to any type of something written in a book somewhere, he has a nickname that when he does act up, instead of using the tool that my parents used and punishing me, that all that taught me was that you're only in trouble if you get caught. That's not a good way to look at life. Not at all. Instead, I get to take a few minutes with my son and remind him who he is. And that we all forget at times. You know, there's, I can't remember which one, but I remember seeing this thing that's a tribe in Africa that when somebody in the village screws up, they put him in a circle and they surround him and they remind that human being about all the wonderful good things that they've done in their life and the good human they are, and to forgive themselves for having that momentary lapse of weakness. That is a beautiful thing that this world needs more of on a consistent basis in every possible way. we spend a lot of time tearing each other down and looking for reasons to tear at things and pull them apart, rather than looking for reasons to build each other up, to make comment on what each other is doing right, instead of just looking for a way to make ourselves look better by what we have to say. It happens a lot around the world. We watch it on the news, we engage in it on social media. We all do it. And we all have moments where we go, well, shit, maybe shouldn't have said that. Oh, well, shit happens. Next time, don't do that. Say something different. Say something nicer. Be more positive. We could use more positivity in this world. It can make a big difference, you know. What the world needs now are true words of wisdom. But I think I'll leave that up to someone wiser. From Cracker, the song is Teen Angst. And another part of that song is talking about how it starts with me and that's wisdom I laughed at. What the world needs now is for a change that's already happening, and it starts here. Everybody's waiting for something else to happen before they go along with it to see what it looks like. It doesn't happen unless it happens. Change. It's got to happen here so that we can change everything out here, like Rush says. And the men who hold high places must be the ones to start, to form a new mentality closer to the heart. The blacksmith and the artist reflected in their art. The philosopher and the plowman each must play their part. Change our philosophy from me first, everybody else next, to all of us at the same time, please. All of us at the same time. Not the line forms here. There's a big bunch of us all just doing stuff because, well, damn it, we're one Earth family and we should. That's the kind of change that the world needs. Is that change in ideology of me to we. We are a we. Yes, I am a me and I'm an individual, and that's a beautiful thing, and I'm not looking for a bunch of clones. Do it your way. Whatever that way is that works for you, that makes you feel like you are contributing in a way that does good towards the best possible outcome for humanity. I know it's a lofty goal. Most people don't think like that. Most people can't get past, oh shit, I gotta go to work today. I know. Oh well. World needs all kinds, and I just happen to be this one. So, enjoy it, and think about it for a minute or two. Take 5 minutes. And think about one thing that you can do just for the hell of it, that you know will quietly make an impact, that you will get no credit for, and have fun keeping that secret to yourself and enjoying knowing that you did it not for what you would get out of it, but because it was there to be done and you saw you could do it. That right there is where leadership begins and ends. And that's going to wrap things up for this episode of Coffee and a Spliff with your host, Poppa Smoke, also known as Max Carter. Have fun.